One of the most complex and morally nuanced characters in the Harry Potter series, Dumbledore made many difficult choices throughout his life. Most debated is why he never confronted Voldemort directly and killed him, despite having the power and opportunity to do so. The entire ministry and the parents of Hogwarts students believed that Voldemort was only afraid of Dumbledore. So let's start the video. Dumbledore's attitude towards Voldemort was heavily influenced by his unwavering belief in the value of human life, even when it came to someone as corrupt and dangerous as Tom Riddle. Dumbledore had seen firsthand what destruction taking a life could cause, as his sister Ariana had suffered a tragic death, which was indirectly caused by his own actions during a duel in his youth. This event deeply shaped his worldview, making him acutely aware of the consequences of violence and the moral cost of taking a life, regardless of its justification. Dumbledore believed that murder was a line that should only be crossed in the most extreme circumstances. Unlike Voldemort, who saw death as a tool to achieve his goals, Dumbledore saw death as a natural part of life and something that should not be used as a weapon. He knew that taking a life, especially as an act of aggression, could haunt even the most righteous individuals, and had the potential to change them in ways they may not have imagined. In essence, Dumbledore did not want to risk becoming what he had fought against. Furthermore, Dumbledore's deep respect for justice and the rule of law meant that he believed Voldemort should face the consequences of his actions through a fair process, not summary execution. He also wanted to uphold a high standard in the face of great evil, because once the line of murder without due process was crossed, it could destroy the values the wizarding community stood for. In his eyes, the end did not justify the means, and he was determined to lead by example, even if it meant taking a more difficult path. Belief in prophecy and destiny. Dumbledore's decisions were also heavily influenced by his understanding of prophecy and its role in the wizarding world. The prophecy made by Sybil Trelawney, which stated that Voldemort would be defeated by a child born in late July, played an important role in shaping Dumbledore's strategy. He believed in the power of prophecy, not as a rigid blueprint of the future, but as a guiding force that often revealed deeper truths about fate and choice. Dumbledore was well aware that prophecies were not guarantees. They were probabilities that depended on the actions of the people involved. For Dumbledore, the prophecy about Harry and Voldemort was more than just a prophecy. It represented a cosmic balance where the choices of individuals shaped the outcome. By allowing Harry to fulfill the prophecy, Dumbledore believed that Voldemort's defeat would be more than just the end of a tyrant. It would mark the victory of love, courage, and the willingness to face one's destiny, qualities that Voldemort lacked and feared. Dumbledore also understood that Voldemort's belief in the prophecy was a serious weakness. Voldemort's obsession with escaping death led him to take drastic steps such as creating Horcruxes, which ultimately contributed to his downfall. Dumbledore knew that trying to confront Voldemort could disrupt the natural order of the prophecy. He believed that Harry, who was considered Voldemort's equal, was bound to face him eventually because it was Harry's love, resilience, and choices that set him apart as Voldemort's true adversary. By allowing Harry to confront Voldemort, Dumbledore was also empowering Harry to take control of his own story. Harry's journey was about more than defeating a dark wizard. It was about growing into the person he wanted to be, understanding the power of his own choice, and rejecting the path of fear and hate represented by Voldemort. Dumbledore saw Harry as a beacon of hope for the wizarding world, a living proof of the idea that even the most humble person can rise to change the world. Caution about power and corruption. Dumbledore's awareness of his capacity for power and its potential to corrupt him played a significant role in his decision-making. From a young age, Dumbledore was recognized as a prodigy in magic, and his talents could easily lead him down a path of dominance and control. However, his early friendship with Gellert Grindelwald and their shared dreams of creating a new world order ended disastrously when Dumbledore realized the price of unchecked ambition. This experience made Dumbledore very wary of his own desires for power and taught him that the pursuit of the greater good can lead even the most brilliant minds astray. By the time Voldemort rose to power, Dumbledore had already lived through the consequences of his past mistakes and was determined never to repeat them. He knew that involving himself directly in the fight against Voldemort, especially to the extent of killing him, could be a dangerous move in a world of power struggles and moral compromises. Dumbledore was well aware of the fine line between fighting for a just cause and becoming a tyrant himself, and he was determined not to allow himself to become one. Dumbledore's restraint was a sign not of weakness, but of wisdom. He knew he could not become judge, jury, and executioner, because doing so would put him on a precarious moral high ground that could easily collapse. Dumbledore's self-awareness kept him in check, reminding him that the real fight against Voldemort was not just about defeating a dark wizard, but about maintaining the moral integrity of the world he wanted to protect. He sought to inspire others, like Harry, to take on roles of leadership and courage, rather than impose their will through force. Sacrifice, personal growth, and the greater good. Perhaps the most poignant aspect of Dumbledore's strategy was his belief in the power of personal growth through sacrifice. Dumbledore understood that Harry's journey was about more than just defeating Voldemort. It was about becoming a man who could stand up against evil in all its forms. By allowing Harry to face Voldemort and the challenges that came with it, Dumbledore was giving Harry the chance to grow into a true leader who understood the complexities of life, death, and the choices that define him. Dumbledore's own life was filled with sacrifice. He knew the pain of loss, the burden of responsibility, and the price of doing the right thing rather than the easy thing. In guiding Harry, Dumbledore wanted Harry to experience his own journey of self-discovery. He believed that true strength came not from avoiding adversity, but from facing it. Every challenge Harry faced, from battling Dementors to witnessing the deaths of loved ones, was a step toward making him the man who could ultimately end Voldemort's reign of terror. Dumbledore's willingness to let Harry struggle and grow was not an act of cruelty, but an act of trust. He believed that Harry would grow over time, learn from his failures, and emerge stronger. Dumbledore understood that Harry's journey would not only shape him into the hero the wizarding world needed, but also become a symbol of hope and resilience for others. By allowing Harry to lead, Dumbledore ensured that the fight against Voldemort was not just about defeating one man, but about inspiring a new generation to stand up against darkness in all its forms.